So this is a kind of additional study of the DELIVER trial. So the DELIVER trial is the TR study for gastric cancer patients who were treated with Nivolumab in Japan. I think this is a kind of the biggest prospective observational study for gastric cancer treated with Nivolumab, which included more than 500 patients. So, well, this time we analyzed blood-based biomarker, so-called SOLBL markers, in more than 400 patients. So basically, so immune checkpoint inhibitors target immune check molecules, right? And such immune check molecule has have a SOLBL form. And the potential predictive value of SOLBL PD-1 or SOLBL PD-L1 and SOLBL CTLA-4 for immune checkpoint inhibitor has been shown in several malignancies, including non-small cell lung cancer and renal cell carcinoma and melanoma, but not in gastric cancer. So the aim of the study is to see the association between these SOLBL markers and treatment effects of Nivolumab in DELIVER cohort. The other aim of the study included that we would like to we wanted to see association of GPS and treatment effect of Nivolumab. So GPS is a combined index of CRP, C-reactive protein, and serum albumin. And the CRP represents is a key marker of inflammation. And albumin is also markers of inflammation and also a nutrition status marker. So the GPS is a combination index of CRP and serum albumin. And GPS has been identified as a biomarker of immune checkpoint inhibitor efficacy across multiple malignancies, including gastric cancer. So the other aim of the study is to see the association between GPS and the treatment effect of Nivolumab in this study. So actually, this study included 439 patients who are enrolled in DELIVER trial, and these patients. So the blood sample was available for 439 patients. The SOLBL markers was evaluated by a newly developed HISCL assay. So we found that firstly we investigated the association between SOLBL markers and the treatment outcome, and we found that SOLBL PD-L1 was associated with treatment efficacy of the Nivolumab in this cohort. So importantly, lower levels of SOLBL PD-L1 was associated with better treatment effect, which is totally opposite from a tumor expressing PD-L1. So we believe that the SOLBL PD-L1 and tumor expressing PD-L1 is completely different. And the other SOLBL markers, including SOLBL PD-1 and SOLBL CTLA-4, were not associated with treatment effect. So we found that SOLBL PD-L1 is only one SOLBL markers that can potentially predict the prognosis of Nivolumab. So then we evaluated the association between GPS and clinical outcome of Nivolumab. As previously reported, GPS clearly stratify the treatment effect. So GPS is can score 1, 0, 1, 2. So 0 indicates lower CRP and high serum albumin. That means very good nutrition and immune status. And GPS2 has a higher CRP and a lower serum albumin, which indicates a bad host immune environment. and the GPS1 is in between. So the efficacy of nivolumab is clearly stratified. That means the GPS 0 indicates a very good tumor response and a longer PFS and a longer OS. And we further performed a multivariable analysis for overall survival with utilize of variables including soluble markers and serum albumin and the CRP, and found that soluble PD-L1 and serum albumin and CRP were independently associated with OS. We also examined the GPS instead of serum albumin and CRP, and also found that soluble PD-L1 and GPS were independently associated with OS. So finally, we combined these factors together. So soluble PD-L1 and GPS. So soluble PD-L1 is include high versus low variables, and the GPS is a 1, 2, 3. So the 6 category can be made, right? So we categorize the patient into a 6 subgroup and found that this subgrouping can clearly stratify the treatment outcome of nivolumab treatment in gastric cancer patient. So I think this is a very important finding to identify the patient who are mostly benefit or mostly benefit from nivolumab monotherapy in gastric cancer. And this idea may be applied for the other tumors with ICI alone or ICI combination, such as esophageal squamous cell carcinoma, where currently ipi/nivo is a standard of care, but no one knows who is most benefit from ipi/nivo instead of chemo-nivo, right? So I'd like to, for the future perspective, we're going to see this GPS and the soluble PD-1 combination can identify a good prognosis patient in gastric cancer in first line or esophageal squamous cell carcinoma patients. That's a future perspective.